In this video, we're going to be going over Sole Provider Volume 3, and we're also going to be using some key group programs from Soulful Instruments and Vintage Provider. So let's jump right into it, have some fun. So when we jump into our browser, we'll go right here to Expansions, and down here I actually have Sole Provider 3. We click on Sole Provider 3 and we could start auditioning some of these sounds. Once we're right here on Program View, we can just start scrolling down and listen to some of the sounds that we have right here. If you guys will hear a beat that's being played, that beat, the sounds that you hear, the kicks, snares, hi-hats, sample chops, that is what is included in that sample program. If you like those sounds, you should probably download that drum kit. I actually like that a lot. Okay, we can spend all day right here. So I downloaded a few kits. Now, if I go to my main page, you will be right here in track number 1. And if you don't have anything loaded up in your first track, you automatically will have a drum program loaded up, which is the 4 squares right here. Right underneath your drum or your track, you'll see the actual drum program that you are selected on. Right now, we have this one right here selected. Now, you'll notice that everything within this drum kit that we loaded, it all matches. It all comes together very, very good. So no matter what you do, if you sequence some of these sample chops on top of the drums, it just all fits together as one track. And that's something that I really enjoy, because especially if you're just getting started and you're sampling, in order for you to match the textures you're getting from a sample to the drums that you're loading up to your beat, it could just sound way off. And that's something that I struggled with a lot, just trying to get the drums and the samples to match. And right here, they sound so good together. And we'll see, we're going to put this together and we're going to start adding some other key group instruments on top of this so we can build and use this as our starting point. Oh, now it already makes me sound like I'm so good behind the pads, but I love the way that these are put together. As a matter of fact, we could go ahead and lay this down right now. Let's go ahead and start with this. Got the sample right there for 2 bars, and we just start laying down these drums on top of this. Get the hi-hat in. Oh, that's an open hat. Yeah. And I'm gonna get these toms coming in right here. If I have to nudge something over, it's so easy to use this grid right here and just kind of move the notes right over. Yeah, right there. And now what we could do, grab this, double length that, so now it's going to be 4 bars, and we can zoom out. That was the first 2 bars that we just worked on, but now that we're in the grid editor, give your Q links, make sure you're on your 4th Q link. You could bang through these Q links. I'm going to jump into the 4th Q link. We already have the first 2 bars. I really like how that sounds, but now we can work on the 3 and 4th bar. So as long as we're on the 4th Q link, we could use these 2 last Q links to set a loop selection. As you guys can see, I'm selecting the last 2 bars. Now I want to work on those last 2 bars. I'm going to get rid of this hit right here. Boom, cut that. Maybe we can drop this one in instead of the other one. Oh man, that sounds so nice. Now I can actually grab this sequence and I can copy it, put it into sequence number 2. Now we're in sequence number 2, and I noticed that we're provided with some horns right here that we can lay on top. All right, so that actually sounds really good. We could actually even jump into track number 2, go into our key group programs. And in our key group programs, we could go back into our browsers. And right here, we have Soulful Instruments that has some amazing instruments right here that we can load up. And we can also check out some sounds from Vintage Provider. Let's go into Vintage Provider and listen to what they have right here. That sounds nice right here. I'm going to load that in. Once I have that loaded into my project, I can go back to my main page. And in track number 2, I just have to make sure that I'm loaded up into a key group program. Once I'm in a key group program, we can go down right here and start banking through the different key groups that we've loaded up into the session. Let's go into our browser and let's actually go into Soulful Instruments. Soulful Instruments has some awesome sounds right All right, so just like that, I'm able to start a track just using some of the ideas that I have. And I've mentioned this before in previous videos that for me, at least, there's times where I get stuck or it's hard for me to get started. Just sometimes it's just I'm not finding the right textures, or I'm just not connected or in sync with the samples that I'm using. It could be a hit or miss sometimes, but having some type of drum kits or sample packs like the ones we have right here allows us to just start. And right now I'm already taking off in my own direction. I'm already adding my own instrumentation on top of this. I'm having so much fun, but it's because it helped me just get the ball rolling for me, at least to get started with an idea, which this idea now turns into what we're listening to now. And now I could keep building beats using some of these different kits that we have right here. I know I had loaded up like 4 or 5 different kits, and I honestly feel like I could just get started with different sequences with the different kits that I have and just brainstorm and come up with rough drafts. I call this like my scratch paper. Right now, I like how this sounds. It feels right to me. And as soon as I like and I want to lock into this, the way I will start jumping into the mixing, I'll start adjusting some levels. But like I mentioned before, the textures, the sounds, the drums with the samples, like everything just matches together very good for us to get a good mix once we start leveling our tracks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had fun with me. I definitely had a blast doing this beat right here with you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll catch you guys on our next one. Peace.
La 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 la